uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports.
Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS is back in the building. What's good? You already know what the thumbnail is about. We pretty much marching from here all the way to September for this boxing history. Unless, and I have some to confess to the individuals that's trying to stand up for something. You know what I'm saying? I understand you're standing up for something, but I just don't know what it is. But you have the individuals that's trying to take a stance on Terrence Bud Crawford not having a chance in hell to beat Canelo. I understand. I seem like an easy target. But I keep telling you, it's almost like being a child and sticking your finger in that goddamn window fan for the first time. This shit is not pleasant. Enjoy the breeze, sit back and relax, and listen to me be petty, okay? That's all I need for you to do. Don't sit up here and try to say buddies, D-Rod and all that, bro. That don't affect nobody over here, man. Y'all just need to handle what you need to handle. Talk about your fighter, and it'll be cool. I want to start off with Sauce Walka. I think that's his name. He has something to say about Tank Davis. And I want to play y'all the audio, okay? Usually I don't really cross-thread, but every now and then, especially on a Thursday, I'm like saying to myself, why not, goddammit? Why not? So just tune in for a little bit. I know a lot of y'all at lunch. I know what my people do on Thursday. Some of y'all out in the car sipping on some goddamn Don Julio, some Patron, something. I know y'all out there eating some Popeye's chicken and, goddamn dirty rice. You know what I'm saying? Mashed potatoes. I know what y'all doing. Make sure you go to work back on time when you're supposed to. Because I want y'all to be able to enjoy this fight coming at the end of the year. I don't want you to, be out here like the old Spence fan base. You know what I'm saying? Walking around here looking like a fossil. Listen to these words.
When you really, really know.
Do you think that they should have counted that point against him? Do you think Lamont Roach won, or do you think it wasn't enough?
It could be considered a rightful draw, but I also lean towards that Lamont Roach won that fight. I believe he.
How you think that? Because what you're saying is contradicting. You say it could be a draw in one breath, and then you say you thought Lamont Roach can win. Let's play it back again.
Do you think that they should have counted that point against him? Do you think Lamont Roach won, or do you think it wasn't enough?
It could be considered a rightful draw, but I also lean towards.
It can be considered a rightful draw.
That Lamont Roach won that fight. I believe he won the fight simply because he outclassed the champ.
So now people, for those casuals that's just coming out of high school, so I know a lot of y'all happy. Graduation is coming up. I know y'all sitting up here, enjoying life. You about to be an adult. Get ready. Sauce is saying that Tank Davis was outclassed that night. I don't know what class he's talking about. Because we look at it like if it's the champ, you got to do enough to take the belt from the champ. You can't go in there and think all of a sudden you up from a lower weight class and you prove majority of the people that, like myself, that thought you was going to be making an Ambien commercial just below the bottom rope. You proved me wrong. You went the distance. But Sauce, outclassed? You acting like he put on a clinic, big dog. I mean, Lamont, he did all right, but he didn't put on no clinic, shawty. Come on, Sauce, man. He didn't put on no clinic. How does outclassing win you the fight? You should have just said Lamont Roach earned the Constellation Prize. He ended up going the distance, which WCS thought and said and spoke out. And he was adamant about Lamont Roach was getting knocked out, but Lamont Roach, somehow, some way, a miracle happened that he made it to the final round, which was good. And I'm going to tell you why.
In boxing, you have to do two things to beat the champ. You either got to knock out the champ or completely outclass the champ. But you have to beat the champ. You're not going to just get the win because you survived or you put up a good fight. Bro lost that fight.
Facts.
Like, when you really, really know boxing and know boxing for what it really, really is, Tank lost that fight.
No, he didn't lose the fight. I'm going to give you some documentation to say he didn't lose the fight. It's called, what's that? Not DEI. No, not DEI. It starts off the same though. DECISION _ air quotes, whatever you want to do, Salsa. Huh, Sauce? How you gonna say, you know, he outclassed the champ, but yet he didn't get the decision? He really won the fight, but he didn't get the decision. If you're gonna go beat the champ, you gotta beat the champ. You gotta knock him out or outclass him. I think you should basically switch outclassing by using effective punch placement, and you have to stay consistent throughout the entire fight. Lamont Roach did not dominate Tank in that fight. He had pockets, moments, windows. Okay? Yes, he had those. But the value of those windows, were they enough for the judges to be like, you know what, he outclassed him? He did enough effective punch output and landed the more productive, conducive punches throughout this fight. Yeah, we're going to award him. No, one thing you missed out also is the star power. Tank is just not any champion there, Sauce. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I know a lot of people trying to talk boxing. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people. But no, that ain't it, brother. That is not it.
No matter how much people emotions and feelings are attached to it, because Tank is a hero of the hood. The ghetto loved the Tank. Gervonta Davis has been crowned king. My personal opinion, I don't think he should take the rematch, and I think he's already done what you just said. I think.
Who told you that, man? Hey, Water. Let me see, can I get them on the phone? Hey, Water, hello? Hey, I need for you to, I'm going to send you a clip of this interview. I need you to test Sauce Walka real quick, ASAP, before he go up here and try to purchase some urine. Can you pass it to the other ones, Water, Vada, Yasada? You know what I'm saying? Either one of them. Test this man ASAP. We're going to wait till those goddamn tests come back, Sauce. And because for you to predict this Tank Davis is done, who are you to try to sit up here and think that you are the voice of the people when it comes to boxing? Man, stop it. You better stop it, man. You better stop that nonsense.
Off of what he's already accomplished with the draw, he's already in a life-changing situation to where he could change. No matter how much people emotions and feelings are attached to it, because Tank is a hero of the hood. The ghetto loved the Tank. Gervonta Davis has been crowned king. My personal opinion, I don't think he should take the rematch, and I think he's already done what you just said.
See, I got a total issue with that because he didn't get beat up. Why do people just believe that boxing? Well, I know why it's believed, because it's an open door sport. A lot of people feel that they can in any way, shape, or form, no integrity or etiquette, so they just freestyle. And this is a perfect example of freestyling. Why would you say a fighter needs not to take the rematch? Why? Who cares if the hood crown him king? The hood ain't paying him, shawty. The hood's not paying this man. What are you saying, bro? He shouldn't take the rematch. Sounds like you just going off producer notes and what you hear around town. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't make no sense. I believe there's individuals that's been spending too much time at the buffet, and somebody been spoon feeding you some don't know shit about boxing. Real talk. Because how are you gonna say a man that didn't get beat up, who didn't go out on his shield, who wasn't land face first, face down in the ring, who didn't have to get the help of the EMT? How can you say he shouldn't take the rematch, bro? You sound like you all of a sudden a politician, man. That shit sound crazy. In my opinion, he shouldn't take the fight. So you just said it's about emotions. You know what? You ain't on emotion. It's something else, bro, that's influencing this bullshit. You're not talking with emotions. No. It ain't no way. There's no way that boxing's got to a point where where only 2 fighters have went the distance with him, and Lamont being recently the third. You're going to say Tank Davis, who hasn't been knocked out, don't need to take the rematch. He's undefeated, bro.
I think off of what he's already accomplished with the draw, he's already in a life-changing situation to where he could change every person around his life forever. He's now what's called a prize fighter. He's now what's also called a A-side fighter right now.
So he's a prize fighter, y'all. He's what he's considered an A-side fighter. He's a prize fighter and an A-side fighter. He shouldn't take no more fights. He shouldn't fight Lamont Roach. Wouldn't the Lamont Roach fight earn him another payday? Because now he's an A-side fighter and prize fighter. Sir, I just want to let you know that he was that before he fought Roach. He was that, yeah. Yeah, he was that before then. Just to help you out with a little bit of info. You know what I'm saying? He was a prize fighter and an A-side prior to Lamont Roach fight.
If he does what I like to call the Deontay Wilder and chase the legacy of getting the win, because you thinking from more of 100% on the boxing aspect than the business aspect, which Gervonta Davis has clearly showed everybody.
What does my boy Wilder got to do with this, Sauce? Yo, man, what you talking? What you be saying, shawty? Deontay Wilder chasing what? Dude, he was champion for over 5 years with 10 successful title defenses. What does this have to do with Tank? Deontay Wilder? Man, I'm puzzled, goddammit. I'm freaking puzzled. I'm about to cut the lights off and get a flashlight and shine that bitch and act like I'm in space. I'm trying to find some shit out, man. Is it just me? Is that shit they got on the street good? Like, do you think this has something to do with some psychedelic influence? Some pre-ayahuasca prepping? Huh? Is he sipping on the ayahuasca cocktail? God damn. What does Deontay Wilder have to do with Tank Davis? Not a goddamn thing.
Larger amount of his success is from the business module of the way he does boxing that was being gifted to him through Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions. And
oh my God. This nigga said through the business model, but I thought everything in boxing is a business, Sauce. Everything is a freaking business when it comes to boxing. You talking about gifted. Did you just say gifted? This man has been gifted. You look, let's just say for instance, the only gift that you really know about is when it comes around to the end of the annual calendar. Okay, I got it. You know, or a birthday, your born day. Just to say them two days that you really understand what gifts are about. But to insinuate or imply that Tank Davis was gifted now. We're talking about a 3-weight world champion, and you're talking about someone that has to have the attention of the fans for them to come out and pay for the ticket to see him fight. Every fighter does not have that star appraisal. Every fighter cannot chaos the crowd the way Tank does. You ever understood how a fighter can chaos the crowd, just during the fighter's introduction? Why? Because it's called anticipation. It's called, oh man, I know Tank is going to give us that moment that we're looking for. If you have that moment etched in the brains of these consumers all the time, when they come and see you fight, that's exactly what they waiting on, Sauce. They waiting on a big moment, just like when Frank Martin was in there. They was waiting on it. And when it happened, he stepped over that man. This warmed everybody's heart that was in there witnessing that. That's what Tank is known for. But to say this man, Lamont Roach, outclassed Tank. The hood has crowned Tank. He shouldn't take the rematch. And then to say he was gifted and try to throw the business in there. That is so unfortunate, brother. That is extremely unfortunate.
In PBC, but at the end of the day, so what? That's what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at Gervonta Davis for that.
Do you think that they should have counted that point against him?
Right now. But if he does what I like to call the Deontay Wilder and chase the legacy of getting the win, because
the Deontay Wilder chase the legacy. Let me see what the fuck are he talking about. Let me see. Deontay Wilder chasing the win. Who was he chasing the win for? He fought 3 times with Fury, 3 times. So he wasn't stand over here over the top and say, "Oh man, I finally get Fury. Of all these people that I had to knock out, no, that wasn't the case." What? I'm clueless a little bit. How Deontay Wilder, a heavyweight, the considered the hardest hitter, in boxing, and Tank coming in second. For him to be compared to Tank in this scenario makes no sense at all. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense at all. I'm just being honest with you. I'm trying to process this, and I think the only way I'm going to be able to do that, if I go down there and get some old school hypnotic. First of all, take about 5 laxatives, clean my system out. You know what I'm saying? Don't eat shit. Just have a cleansing for 5 days. Then go to the liquor store and get some real pure. I'm talking about some of that 99%. That shit damn near close to moonshine. Maybe I need something to alter my normal sense of thinking to understand where Deontay Wilder fits into this. For real, maybe I need some Delta 13, 14, and 15. Because certain people believe that it's okay to be behind the mic, lens the moment, and say something of 2 fighters. He was asked about the Gervonta Davis, but somehow he inserts Deontay Wilder's name in there. Chase the legacy. What was Deontay Wilder chasing after Fury? I mean, what was he facing? And look, he went in there with Fury. He was stopped in the trilogy, right? He was stopped in the trilogy, and then he took some time off. His legacy was already etched in the boxing annals. He is a Hall of Famer. So, Sauce, come on, bro. It's much respect you even talking boxing, because most artists don't, bro. But no, big dog. No, I don't get it, man. It's not registering right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I don't have the right configurations in the server. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that shit's coming up, encrypted.
Because you thinking from more of 100% on the boxing aspect than the business aspect, which Gervonta Davis has clearly showed everybody. The larger amount of his success is from the business module of the way he does boxing that was being gifted to him through Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions. And
the larger part of his success. So in order for Tank to get the money he's getting, he was gifted that moment in time by Floyd Mayweather, who laid out. It wasn't just a red carpet. It was several colors out there, different textures. He laid out everything for Tank to come in here and get these fights, as if Tank wasn't applying the pressure when he went in there and was putting these guys to sleep. He was gifted. That is so freaking disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. He was gifted, bro. He was gifted, gifted. Anyway, let me move on from this brother, man. Shout out to Sauce Walka, though. I'm probably not saying his name. It's okay, man. You know, he attempted to give clarification to a question. He attempted to answer the question, but I don't think, you know, real talk, I don't think he quite understand that, you know, a lot of things he said, like outclassed, and the hood crown him king, which the hood doesn't pay the man, but yet you say he was gifted on the business side of boxing. In order for you to really take advantage of the business side and have that star power, it has to be something special about you, especially when you come to black fighters. It has to be something special that allows the fans to gravitate to who you are as a fighter. Or else you're gonna fall in line with every other fighter that's out there that has skills. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you. What's good? What's good? Let's keep it moving. As y'all know, Edgar Berlanga, man. Edgar is headed back to potentially face Jaime Munguia. The one thing about this with me is Berlanga is really showing you that he's blatantly putting it out there that he's not trying to fight the tough opposition, but yet he wants the bag that basically compensates him as if he was fighting a tough competition. Tough competition for some may not be the same for others. You know what I'm saying? Berlanga is choosing to pick Jaime Munguia potentially to hopefully get a bag in Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not mad at Edgar Berlanga trying to get the bag in Saudi when the money is being handed out and delegated over there in the sandbox, okay? But on the flip side of that, you've been in with Canelo Alvarez. So therefore, the opponent that you faced after Canelo Alvarez, it's almost like you're fighting on the top premier freaking level, a tier that you can fight on against one of the pound for pound best or greats of this era. Then your next fight, you go out here searching a grease monkey or some mechanical shop for a fighter that really can't get a good corporate job because they did time. And you wanna pull them up and they say, hey man, I said I used to box, but I was shadow boxing and I was out the ring for 10 years. Edgar Berlanga's last opponent was out of the ring for 10 freaking years, bro. You think that stopped Berlanga? No, Berlanga went in there and fought that man and stopped him in the first round. And I'm waiting on the goddamn parade like he did with Canelo. This man went in there and fought Jonathan Ortiz. At the time, Jonathan Ortiz has skated through the boxing ranks without picking up a loss, with 20 victories, 0 defeats, and 16 knockouts, y'all. Age 35 years of age. A Puerto Rican fighter. Edgar gave him a shot. You know what I'm saying? From 2014 to 2024, this man was damn near out the ring, no fights. But look who wrapped him up in those nice soft linen sheets when he returned to the sport. You know what I'm saying? Warmed him up real nice so he can sit down at the table and get a lecture from Edgar. He said, hey, I'm the big dog. I'm Edgar. I'm Edgar Berlanga, formerly known as the Monster. I want to give you an opportunity, my friend, because my people, they turn me on to you, say you good people. I'm looking for a super soft, mushy, gooey marshmallow next to the barn fire type fighter. And you're it. Okay, Ortiz? you're it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The fight's not going to last that long, so you don't have to worry about taking too much punishment. This man went from Canelo. Let's just say Canelo is graded on a 10 scale of popularity in boxing. He went to Ortiz, that is a negative 60. A negative 60. He doesn't qualify to be rated on a scale of 1 to 10. But for Edgar Berlanga, he selected this man and said, come on, man, let's go. Let's go. Make sure you make the weight and everything. Don't worry about anything, man. You about to get some money. You know what I'm saying? My people say you solid. Now this man wants to come back off of Jonathan Ortiz and potentially fight a Jaime Munguia, who has to return back in a rematch to fight Saras, who upset him when nobody thought it was capable. And, I put it out there, yo. You know what I'm saying? I put it out there. And what did I say? I said, why in the hell is Jaime Munguia fighting this rapid recession when he doesn't have to? Jaime Munguia is 44 victories, 2 defeats, and 35 knockouts, y'all. One of those 2 defeats is a recent stoppage from Bruno Saras. Now tell me how and why, if you fought Canelo in May 2024, that was Jaime Munguia's second fight last year. Okay? I mean, that was Jaime Munguia's second fight in 2024 when he fought Canelo Alvarez. Then, a short time later, he fought Eric Bazian in September 2024. That was his third fight. These are all fight camps now, from January to May to September. Then he turned around and won a dip in there for his fourth fight with Bruno Saras. And this was in Tijuana. You know what I'm saying? Who would have ever thought that Jaime Munguia would lose in Tijuana? Well, if it would have went to the scorecards, absolutely. We wouldn't be having a Saras in our conversas. He wouldn't even be in our conversation, yo. He'd be a non-factor. We wouldn't be talking about him, even though his record was 25-0. Now, Jaime's about to step back in there in Riyadh season and fight Bruno in a rematch, just for validation, just for to reinstate himself as if he's important. This is a fighter who has 46 bouts, y'all. A Mexican fighter. I call him the Mexican Zorro, because Jaime Munguia used to come to a division, do work, maybe win a title, move up out that motherfucker, nobody never knew he was gone. Then he'll reappear in another division, do some work, and you'll never know if he moved and he's up out of there. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about somebody who was at 54 at one time, dipped into 60, and then, dipped into 68. But Edgar Berlanga, I have no idea what is going on with this guy who wants to pick up Jaime Munguia, who's about to step in there coming off a loss. Jaime Munguia, yes, he is a common opponent of Canelo Alvarez. Jaime Munguia has been in there with another common opponent of Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder. He's been in there with Sergey Deryanchenko. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with the infamous Gabe Rosado. He's been in there with some names. But let's not overdo it. I mean, his resume is okay. Because just like his compadre who's in camp, because you remember Jaime Munguia showed up to the Canelo camp too. He said, if you can't beat him, join him. And he did the same thing, but the only one that's still there is Jaime. Teofimo was kicked to the curve, and Ryan Garcia kicked to the curve. But just like his compeer who he's training with right now, and I'm pretty sure it's in some green, white, and red pucker face going on in there. He had a lot of fights in Mexico too, just like Canelo Alvarez. He had a lot of fights. Over half of his freaking resume was fought in Mexico. So that's why I'm saying, why is Edgar Berlanga want to fight Jaime Munguia? And this would be Jaime Munguia's first fight of 2025. So it's no telling when he will fight again, probably near the end of the year or whatever the case may be. But what does this do for Edgar Berlanga? What does this do? I mean, just think about it. Saras don't have a title, does he? I mean, does Saras have a title? What does this do for Edgar? Why isn't he trying to move up the chain of command? Why didn't he fight a Caleb Plant? Why? You told that man on fight week there, Edgar, that you would knock him out. You said you would knock the man out, and you want to come back and fight a Jaime Munguia? You know what's irritating to me is when these Latino fighters, they want to pick other Latino fighters because they feel it sells tickets. But if you take a Puerto Rican fighter and fight a Caleb Plant, a Caucasian European fighter, it will sell just as much because Caleb Plant is established. He's established in the sport of boxing. So for you to pick Jaime Munguia, it does nothing for Munguia. It does absolutely nothing for Munguia because Munguia has been a 2-division champ, right? It does zero for Munguia. So look, check this out. This is where you try to break down and give a special ed class sometime to the casual boxing fans. What purpose is it for Jaime Munguia to fight Edgar Berlanga and say he the A side or whatever he's trying to insinuate when Munguia the one that has the championship belts? When does Edgar's parking ticket expires and people start to tow his ass to the red carpet and say, listen, bro, you're fooling the people. You're supposed to be a big name in boxing, but you're fighting Jaime Munguia. And you want to make it seem like you're the money guy. Bro, why aren't you trying to fight? Like him and Charlo would have been a good fight. I don't know if Charlo, would have tried to fight Edgar on his return. But Jabal Charlo and Edgar would have been a damn good matchup. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how many times do we have to wait for Edgar to fight some solid competition where he can test himself? I mean, I like Edgar and all that, but man, this is over the top, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this is over the top. This is over the top at the end of the day. It's just over the top with Edgar. How are you gonna earn some respect in boxing and you think for some reason you're gonna just basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to semi low key convince the people that you're a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? But you getting paid star. You get the purse of a superstar. I just want to fight the mid to low tier fighters, but I want to get paid as a superstar. Edgar's 27 years of age already. One defeat by Canelo. He just fought Ortiz and he want to go in there and fight someone else that doesn't increase or does anything to his boxing value. I don't really care about Jaime Munguia having a couple of losses. I'm just talking about, are you trying to work yourself to a title shot? What are you trying to do, man? Because I just don't get how once upon a time this man was considered a monster. And he hasn't really said, I'm committed to showing the people that I'm one of the best out here in this division. I just don't see it from Edgar, man. I'm disappointed in you, bro. But that's all I got to say about Edgar. I got to move on. I can't take too much time with Edgar, bro. I'm just disappointed, bro. Real talk. I'm just disappointed in the route that you take. Serious. I'm seriously disappointed, man. BG say Berlanga. See, you hang around the scene too much, man, and start talking that fast shit, and people gonna start picking up what you talking about, Edgar. And now they calling you, Berlanga. And I'm saying, damn, I never would have thought so early in your career that people will be giving you alias that doesn't benefit you as a fighter. That's bad. People out here criticizing you, including me, that you're unwilling to step up and fight the tough competition. I just can't understand why that's the case. Let's get on to Shakur Stevenson, right? I know when certain people said, seeing Shakur duck Zepeda, I know they was probably like thinking, WCS is about to say something because he doesn't think too highly of Shakur. And I'm like, no, it's quite not. This is where I look at it when it comes to Shakur Stevenson ducking William Zepeda. It's not true, bro. I heard some people talking about it, and this just goes to show, like, those of you that really don't attend fight cards or haven't attended any type of fight camp or hang out in the gym enduring the musty smell, you know what I'm saying, the pounding of the heavy bags, you know what I'm saying, the sweat, all the commands and the hours of training that goes into that, you wouldn't understand how some fighters, in Shakur's case, would be called out by William Zepeda. Now, recently, I basically addressed on X, I addressed a tweet that Mayer sent out, I think, talking about we sent Baumgartner a freaking offer and didn't hear nothing back. And I say, well, you're not expected to hear anything back when it's a very lowball, underwhelming offer. And I've found that out, that in this case with Shakur Stevenson, the man clearly let the people know that his hand was fucked up off the Josh Padley fight. He let the people know. But William Zepeda, who set to fight Tevin Farmer, they wanted to try to send Shakur Stevenson an offer to fight in May now. It's already in March. They want this. They know this man's hands is fucked up. Publicly, he let the boxing fans know. Zepeda wants to send him a freaking, because obviously his hand is healed up, I guess. We don't know until you go in there with Farmer. But they try to send him a last minute, a short time notice to see if they can lure him into a fight. Look, let me help y'all understand. This shit happens all the time. When fighters say they offered someone, okay, depending on who it is, you have to ask yourself, how much time is it between the last time that fighter has fought and the fight that they're trying to send them a term sheet about, the offer that they're trying to make? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to take that in consideration, because just because a team sends a fighter an offer and that fighter doesn't accept, it's not ducking. Because every offer sent isn't to entice. Man, yeah, boxing is a business, but the business of boxing doesn't benefit both parties, especially if you haven't established yourself. But getting back to Shakur, why in the F would this dude get out of a Josh Padley fight in February and go into a fight with William Zepeda if his hands are still messed up in May? That's just straight up stupid. That just tells me Zepeda needs some type of clout. You know what I'm saying? He needs some type of energy. He needs to build up a freaking a squad of protesters to say Shakur Stevenson, we sent him the offer and he didn't want to take the fight. Yeah, big dummy. Of course he ain't gonna take the fight. He just made it public his hands are still messed up, and you're trying to get him back in there under 100%. One thing, like I say, that it would be good if people understood is that Jay Prince is his manager. A lot of people are always trying to talk these boxers first type narratives. Listen to me. These boxers isn't sitting there submitting that paperwork. They're not drafting up the paperwork and making the phone calls and sitting there and negotiating. It's a team that they pay to do that. If you're getting a percentage of my check, you're going to do the percentage of the work that I hired you to do. That's point blank, period. And that's, and that's why I have to correct some of these people that's always talking about, so-and-so sent the offer, this, that, and the other. These offers that's sent out is not in the benefit of the second party most of the time. And how stupid will it be for Shakur to fight William Zepeda and his hand is still fucked up, man? Be honest with yourself. Stop tripping, bro. Stop acting retarded, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just get agitated with people that's even playing like that. For you to just always want to, you have the younger generation. I can't even call them boxing fans. I just have to call them bystanders that support a small portion of combat sports. That's what I have to call them, the bystanders. I never heard a bunch of motherfuckers call fighters trash. And then I think they so young and immature. I never forget what type of era I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with both of my hands are tied up using my phone and texting all fucking day generation. I'm filled with radiation. I lack energy. Let me go lay down and still have my phone in my hand while I'm texting. Let me go up here and make me a grilled cheese sandwich and continue to fuck up my diet type of generation. Let me just go here and say some stupid ass shit like fighters ducking all the time and they trash just so I can get somebody to argue with me. That'll get my energy level high. I never heard a bunch of motherfuckers talk that talk. And then you explain to them, bro, the fighters are not sending the paperwork. Their teams are sending the paperwork. So therefore, you have to look at the last time they fought and are they ready to get in a short camp? What is the benefit for Shakur to get in a short camp against William Zepeda? Zero. Zilch. There's no benefit. So why would Jay Prince or anybody else that's managing Shakur give him any impression that, yeah, this is a good choice, my guy? Go ahead. Go ahead and take that fight with William Zepeda. That's Zepeda. Man. Yeah, that'll be a big check. Go ahead. Oh, your hands, man. Fighters fight hurt. They fight hurt all the time. They're Shakur. Go ahead. That's not going to happen, man. So, sometimes you might look at it like, man, I really don't have to. It's not customary for me to give you my time like this and debate with you back and forth when you try to correct somebody and saying, oh, he's ducking, he's trash, he should get out the sport. One thing I know about boxing, it's not an easy sport. Just to do a mid drill for 3 minutes straight is difficult. If you actually had a full-blown workout where you was doing a round robin circuit course type of workout, I guarantee you a lot of these cats that's on this YouTube shit, they wouldn't be able to complete the first rotation of the circuit course. I guarantee you, because they're not used to doing anything that's repetitively. I'm talking about repetitious when it comes to the physical, other than running their fucking mouth. So when I hear these cats talking about Shakur ducking Zepeda, all because it was said the offer was sent out. I mean, doesn't that kind of pinch you the wrong way? If it don't, man, you know, I mean, that should pinch you the wrong way and saying, you know what, let me stop fucking off. Let me stop. I know I'm clowning right now. Let me stop it. That man is not going to give Zepeda that type of time when both his hands are fucked up. It's really exhausting sometimes to hear so-called fight fans talk, and they use ducking all the time. You know what I'm saying? They talk so much about ducking, and they really don't try to scrutinize why it's a bad call out. What is the ulterior motive, purpose of this fighter calling out that fighter? And why is Zepeda even saying he sent Shakur an offer anyway? Who is he? Who is he? What titles is he holding at 135? Is he considered the top dog? That's all I wanted to know. For those of you that understand that September is going to be hell for a certain fan base, I want to put this out here. Official merch of Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm just doing this on the kindness of my boxing heart. He just put this out there on X that he has no new merch. Those of you that support Crawford, I just wanted to put this disclaimer out there. He had put out the colors, you know what I'm saying, the different logos that he have. Yeah, go support the champ. You know what I'm saying? Go support the champ. But let's get down to the reality. I want to read you a freaking article that was out. And I think it says a lot about when it comes for a fighter who's, you know, stacked the bricks, built the foundation, and established their legacy in boxing. And now at the end of the road, it's like being in the military, right? When you do so many years in the military, you think you're going to get this ultimate respect when it's time for you to get out. I'm going to tell you that's just always not the case. When you get out of the military, it just seems like, depending on who you are, let me put it that way, depending on who you are, people act like you still owe them something. You know what I'm saying? It's not, okay, you've done enough. We accept your retirement, and we're going to make sure we dress it up real nice and send you off with something, you know, a time to remember, something like that. But, you know, when it comes to boxing, it's just like people act like they want to damn shit on your career. In the case of Crawford, this fight potentially may be his final fight. So let me pull up this article right quick. Bomac. Terrence Crawford is fighting Canelo Alvarez for legacy and may then bow out. Bomac in San Bernardino, California. McIntyre stated has little doubt Terrence Crawford. Okay, Brian Bomac McIntyre has little doubt Terrence Crawford will shock the world should he fight Canelo in September. The two are on a collision course to meet in Las Vegas, but the Mexican must first come through William Skull in Saudi Arabia in May. Listen, man, we're going to win. We're going to win. So let me share this with you right quick, because this is all good content to hit the replay. You know what I'm saying? The visual, make sure the visual is there. Because when you're reminding people of how great one of your favorite fighters is, it's good for them to have the visual. It say, listen, man, we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win, said McIntyre. Now, why he had to say we're going to win over and over again? Just to drive it home. You know what I'm saying? Just to allow that blade to slide and make that incision. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that, you keep on saying it over and over, you make different incisions each and every time. It's not going to be healed up by September. So every time I go live, I'm here to put salt in them wounds. The trainer had just seen his super middleweight hope, Lester Martinez, defeat Joshawn James. And when asked whether Martinez will make a good Canelo impersonator, he said, and we're definitely going to use him for sparring. Crawford has had just one fight at 154 on his way up to 168 from 147, where he meets Canelo. But McIntyre said, it is a fight where size won't matter. Once again, Bomac said, it's a fight where size won't matter. And this is important to note. That's why I have the superhero thumbnail up there. Human beings that claim they support boxing is saying that it's all about size. And I'm looking at these individuals who have basically aged in their life, right? Some of them are young. So look, these are individuals who have gained weight. Okay? I don't know what type of weight it is. I don't know if it's Checkers, In-N-Out Burger, Whataburger. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's Burger King, McDonald's. I don't know what type of weight they gain. But I know for a fact that Bud Crawford, when he fought Israel Madrimov, was in the 160s. So now that they look at 168 being the limit that Canelo and Crawford has to make in September, and they want to drive to anyone that will listen this biased-ass narrative say, oh man, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look good. Now check this out. Check this out, man. Let me talk to you, bro. Let me talk to you. Like I said, a lot of these cats want to continue to spin narratives, just be a very active mouthpiece. But I don't mind you talking your shit in boxing, about boxing. But don't talk some bullshit. Just don't talk some bullshit. Don't compare what you're saying to what I'm saying. Don't talk some bullshit like you never had to gain solid weight before. A lot of you dudes haven't had to compete in something that you had to make weight. A lot of you have just naturally gained weight throughout your diet and nutrition and you going through your everyday life. But you never really was in a sport or any type of training regimen that you had to stay at a certain weight standard. Even in the military, I had to stay at a certain weight standard. No matter how much weights I wanted to lift, I still had a weight standard. If you was above your weight, then they check your body fat percent, your BMI, body mass index. They had to check all that. The trainer had just seen his super middleweight hope, Lester Martinez, defeat Joshawn James. And you trying to tell me they're going to use this man for sparring? I mean, you know, talking about sparring. They putting everything out there. They're pulling out all stops. Crawford has had just one fight at 154. People talk about the one fight at 54. He didn't look good. Crawford looked old. But let me tell you something that I saw for a fact. I remember being in that arena in Beverly Hills. That ballroom. I remember Errol Spence standing next to Crawford, who obviously has been taking his weight seriously. He knew that he didn't want to balloon up too much for 147. And I remember coming back to my room and, I finished off 2 cups of shrimp cocktail while I sipped on some white wine. And I tuned into the YouTube community and I heard people laughing, talking about, man, Spence look big as hell over Crawford. Spence look big as hell. Oh, yeah, Crawford look like his little brother. And all along, I'm saying, when it comes down to the scales, these fighters still have several weeks left before they step on the scales to balance them out. Don't we know that? I mean, God damn it, don't we know that? Shouldn't we automatically know that shit? So, being that we understand that they have to make weight, clearly Errol Spence was the bigger man in the freaking ballroom when they had they presser. But I was amazed at how many fight fans showed their debilitation in certain areas when it comes to common sense. Common sense in boxing on what topics to talk about and what topics to leave alone. You know goddamn well they had weight to cut. So to talk about how big a fighter is when it's not fight week, when it's not the actual final weigh-in, it's preposterous. It's stupid. And I don't know why fight fans would even make those decisions to even speak on it. This is where we at with Bud Crawford. We have individuals up here speaking that Canelo is all of a sudden Goliath. When has he ever been Goliath? Canelo has been praised for some of the same factors that Crawford is going to get praised for. You know, when Crawford moved up to the 147-pound division, he put something out on X that was profound. He said, "You should have never allowed me to get acclimated to the division." When he came up there from 40, it was so many fight fans complaining that he was too small, and why would he go in there and fight that big Australian, that Aussie fighter in Jeff Horn? Why would he do that to himself? He's going to get knocked out. Clearly, Julius Ndongo couldn't have prepared Crawford for Jeff Horn, so he goes in there and stops him. Crawford continues his knockout streak from 40 to 47, gets to 54 and go the distance, and they talking this bullshit. Talking about, oh man, he looked his worst. His power didn't resonate up to 154. Imagine what he's gonna look like when he steps in there in September, y'all. Seriously, let's just imagine that now. Let's just cogitate the whole process on what Crawford, who had a year to prepare for this Canelo fight. Just imagine how he's going to look when he steps in there in September. For those individuals that can continue a series of speaking the same remediated propaganda, ones who believe that the more they talk, the more it's going to impeach some of the fight fans that support Crawford. No, we don't fucking worry about that bullshit you're talking. All I'm saying is both of these guys have to make weight. If you worried about how much weight Canelo is going to rehydrate up to because it's new, look, they're cheering because it's a no rehydration clause. Cool. Crawford and his team has to figure out, like they've always done, how much to eat after the weigh-in and what weight they plan on coming in after the weigh-in. I hear people, I hear this, right? I listen to these two-way conversations, and I hear people say some shit like, Canelo, he's not going to rehydrate up that much. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants to be fast. Because he's already acclimated to 168. So Canelo wants to maintain that speed that he has, that footwork, that incredible footwork that we know Canelo has. And you saw Crawford fight Madrimov. You see how slow he looked? Imagine how slow he's going to look at 168. Canelo's going to take full advantage of that. Oh, yeah, going to take full advantage. And then, look, they love goddamn spraying that whipped cream in their mouth while they talking. You know, they love putting shit on top. You know how the motherfuckers be having that can of whip? I never did it, but you know, I know some motherfuckers on here that do it all the time. They love putting that can of whip on there and say, yep. And he'll be 38 years old too. Yep. He'll be 38 years old. He done. He old. Canelo, he's not going to gain that much weight. You know, he might go high 70s, you know, mid 70s. Hey, they got it all figured out. He go low 70s. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna stay good enough weight so he can be bigger than Crawford, but faster than Crawford. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's gonna work out his benefit. I said, all right. These two-way conversations, these group chats are amazing. It goes on to say, no, I'm not worried about size, he said. I'm not worried about that. Terrence got a great eye at boxing and a great boxing IQ. The only person who can beat Terrence is himself, of course. It's human nature to be worried. And with a great guy like Canelo, but knowing how Bud is, knowing what he's capable of doing, and I know he's doing this for legacy, and he wants to do this to prove everybody wrong, he'll be all right. Once again, and I know he's doing this for legacy. And I know he's doing this for legacy. It says, ask whether this was a bigger challenge than Errol Spence. Arguably, Crawford's previous best win. McIntyre nodded. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. Just look at the level of accomplishments. So Bomac acknowledges that Canelo is bigger than the Spence fight. But it seems like people trying to act like they want to keep Spence at the 147-pound division, right? I mean, they want to keep Crawford at the 147-pound division and keep on talking about, well, Errol Spence wasn't 100% and all this other shit that's going on. We passed that. He's a champion in 154. We have pretty much let that be. That's been recorded. The data has been submitted, and that's in the record books. You have a whole nother class of champions at 147. And we ain't going to see Crawford go down to 147. There's nobody down there big enough for him to go to 47. And then at 54, he already came off the interim WBO title. So, you know, goddamn well, you know, he don't plan on revisiting 154. But what's clear is that we can never leave out boxing IQ for both fighters. I say this all the time. From the mad scientist Bomac McIntyre to Eddie Reynoso to Terrence Crawford to Canelo Alvarez. It's going to be team against team, fighter against fighter. Who has the higher tactical boxing IQ on that night to be able to weather any storm, to be able to disrupt the rhythm of their opponent? That's who's going to win. I don't think it's going to come down to who's tougher. Both fighters are tough. It's going to come down to something way more that far exceeds toughness. You know, this is going to be a bit more deeper to the cloth you was cut from. This is going to test some of the inner, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even say core values. I'm just talking about attrition, durability, resilience. How deep and dark are you willing to go to win that fight? It's going to come down to that. Heart, courage. I mean, the ring IQ for both fighters is what it is. Both of them have the experience and accomplishments. Though many people try to attempt to, you know, criticize Crawford for his best win being Spence. But before his best win, you know, as they call it, in Spence, they say the man ain't fought nobody, and Spence was going to knock him out because he had a educated, say it, educated. He had an educated jab. That educated jab was over there. Educated. That's all you heard. Every debate. Well, for one, Errol Spence has an educated jab. Or should I say one more again? He has an educated. I say educated jab. An educated jab. They was talking about he had an educated jab, y'all. Until Crawford came up there and put his ass in in-house detention. Him and his jab. And that's exactly where we coming. All year round. We're going to continue to talk our talk and walk that walk, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot to be spoken on, and we tired of hearing the same shit. Stay your ass away from 147 when you having these conversations. Don't nobody want to hear the same shit about weight drain, nigga. He goddamn smoked up Mike Tyson's freaking care package. He was high. He was this. Nobody want to hear that shit, bro. We want to hear straight ass whooping commenced. And after the 9th round was over with, when the fight was stopped, Terrence Crawford had his hand raised, on to the next. The man didn't have Edgar Berlanga he didn't go out there with the Berlanga touch. No, Crawford didn't go out there with the Berlanga touch. I want somebody super, super mushy soft. Yeah. Somebody that can barely stand up. Somebody who doesn't have a spinal region. Yeah, I want to fight a jellyfish next without the sting. Who can we find? No, he went up there and fought a champion. What were they saying, y'all? Well, when it comes down to it, y'all sleeping on Majamov. Y'all sleeping on Majamov. No. Are we sleeping on Crawford, though? Man, F Crawford. But are you sleeping on him? No, man. It is what it is for Crawford, man. But he in over his head. Why? Man, so-and-so's amateur pedigree. He's decorated. You can't take nothing away from him. That man has over 2,500 amateur fights, yo. All of them with glass in his freaking wraps. He fought bare knuckle. He was knocking out camels over that motherfucker. Silverbacks. Yeah. I mean, they was highlighting Crawford's opponent without him having the opportunity to clearly go in there and win the fight. A win is a win at the end of the day, right? A win is a win, right? So if we look back at that fight, we can clearly understand that Crawford won the fight. But I must put this out there. For those of you that tends to not understand or know what you want to do this year, who you want to support, I'm not going to tell you to take a side, because taking a side when you absolutely have bad intentions, like you actually, being a double agent, just support the fighter that makes you feel good. That's why I told the aerosexuals, you support the fighter that you like, that you favor the most. Support them. So when you get the disappointment in September, it can hit you with like a goddamn crate of bricks, like it did the Errol Spence fans. That's the best way to put it. And as always, I'm gonna be in Vegas handing out bag lunches. You know what I'm saying? Same thing as last year. 2023. Same thing. It's gonna be a nice bologna sandwich, with some government cheese. One Laffy Taffy. An apple slice, or I might switch it up this year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be there. One goddamn Capri Sun, or a goddamn Fanta drink, something for y'all. But know that WCS is gonna be there to give you support. That's all. Because this is gonna get nasty when it gets around July time frame. Social media is gonna be jumping. That's when the Nello fans are gonna come out the woodworks and start trying to tell people everything we already know. He has over 60 plus professional. How many in Mexico? It don't matter. He boxed at 50. How many in Mexico? It don't matter. He won. How many of those was in Mexico? If you subtract those straight fights he had, which was nobody's, He's not too far away from anything. You know what I'm saying? Subtract the fights that he was supposed to have lost with the ones he actually lost. He will have more. He'll have more losses on his record if they didn't gift him the fight. I'm not taking the evidence away from Canelo. I'm not taking that away because you can't. Like, Canelo is that guy. He's an OG in boxing, man. So is Crawford. But I think a lot of y'all are pleasure seekers when it comes to these freaking conversations because you just want to say the same shit. You want to talk about how small he is. You want to talk about how he didn't fight nobody. Well, guess what? If you believe he ain't fight nobody in his career, why is he about to fight Canelo when you all was up here massaging Canelo's feet, trying to convince him, Canelo, we are here for you and only you. Please don't allow Crawford the opportunity. I don't like him for many reasons. Do you mind if I go up a little bit higher there, Canelo? Above your calf muscle. You seem a little tense back there. Huh? I mean, come on, man. Y'all be sitting there massaging Canelo's ego, bro. As if y'all not boxing fans. It's almost like it's something a little bit deeper when y'all don't want to acknowledge. I acknowledge Canelo got the jacket. I acknowledge he's basically took risks and challenges. So does Team Crawford. They acknowledge he's that guy. But also what Terrence acknowledges also is that he's going to beat Canelo. He say, I'm going to show y'all how great I am. Y'all keep on doubting me, and I'm going to prove you wrong. That's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That's dangerous when it comes to him. That's extremely dangerous, bro. That's extremely dangerous. Yeah, I didn't say he vacated the WBA belt. I just said he came off that interim WBO title. You know what I'm saying? Which that's okay. He can do that. Nobody really cares. You know what I'm saying? We'll let Sebastian Fundora, continue to hold down the division and see how it fares out once he start to face the other guys like Bakr Murtazalayev. And whenever Crawford selects to come off that WBA, you know what I'm saying? Let's see who fight for that. But I would like to throw this out there. It's really good news to hear that the Charlos are talking about coming back. But it's something that irritates me a bit about Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo says he's the king at 154, which I'm not going to hold him. He hasn't been beat. Since becoming the undisputed champion. But neither did he defend his titles as the undisputed champion. I'm not really beating him down for that. Because there's a lot of undisputed champions that don't defend their titles. That's a lot of sanctioning fees to defend your titles. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes Devin Haney's reign special when he defended his title against Kambosos and then defended against Lomachenko and then moved up to 140. You don't get that too often. That's what makes freaking Beterbiev. He actually went into a defense with Bivol for a second time. So I respect that. But what has changed is the lineup. Yes, Jermell Charlo is a champion in recess, but we don't know if you coming back and fighting somebody that's going to grab the attention. Like if you're the king, when you say you're the king should already have high standards. Especially if you left and you white gloved the division and now you're about to return. The shit Crawford does is not so easy, I don't think. Because he moves up and always fight champions. And they complain about him fighting once a year. But Jamel, why don't you come back and fight a champion? I would rather see Jamel go in there and fight a Sebastian Fundora. I would rather see him fight a Murtis Alayev. You know, that's supposed to be one of the more dangerous strikers at 154. I would like to see him gain a belt, earn a belt right away. I would like to see him get a belt right away, yo. Because, you know, from the way it is, that's easy to do when it comes down to them people. It's easy to do. They got complaints when Crawford do it, but I don't see a lot of other people just willing to emulate how he moves up division and win titles. We'll definitely see how it plays out. Seriously, we'll definitely see how it plays out. But I'm looking forward to this weekend. You know what I'm saying? We got some we got some show and tell. We got you know, the Atlanta's own Brian Norman Jr. defending his WBO welterweight title against Derek Cuevas. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see. Michaela Mayer, her rematch with Sandy Ryan. I kind of thought she lost the first one. I'm not going to get into it. Bruce Carrington. You know, Bruce has been talking that he wants that championship fight, whether it be Nick Ball or whoever. So he's definitely going to be under the microscope. Delonte Johnson, a lot of people, they may not know who this is, but he goes by Tiger Johnson. They definitely know who Tiger Johnson is. But Delonte Johnson is coming in there still undefeated. And he's stepping in there with an experienced fighter in Kendo Castaneda. And the Vargas is back. Emiliano Vargas is back. You know what I'm saying? Building up his resume. He's going to be on the card. And, you know, this card is going to be in Vegas, man. It's going to be in Las Vegas. So that's going to be Saturday the 29th. So keep your eyes tuned for that. All right? Shout out to Latch Puma in the building. Salute to your brother. But y'all hold it down. We should do it again another time, another place. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFA game.